Deze is hartstikke als een test.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I am Jeff Doss, and we are excited. We have a special guest, as you can tell, with us, the man, Trey Dietrich. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing really good. How are you guys?
We're excited to have you on. And, man, you had a killer weekend at Infinity Nationals, and we're excited to talk about the tournament and share also just some of the, the amazing things that you've had going on in your season this year. So, guys, I tell you what, man, it was a great weekend. I'm super glad that. When did I tell you last week, Alex, that I was going to go? I think I told you right before the show, hey, I'm going to go to Infinity, right?
It was either right before or right after. It was one of
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
It was pretty last minute.
It was last minute. It was one of those things where I told Jeff, I was like, yeah, I really want to come, but right now, let me see how my tournament goes. And once, my focus was on promoting my event, and then I was like, all right, let's see if we can make this work. And what's crazy is that, Alex, I always tell you how I have to travel far to get a decent flight somewhere. I found a flight from Lynchburg, which is insane. So I didn't even have to go far away, drive. Most of the time I have to drive 2 hours to a decent airport. And yeah, I didn't. So it was crazy.
Did you also fly into Madison or something?
No, I flew into Milwaukee. So that was a 2-hour drive too.
Yeah.
Thursday night was pretty rough because our flight was 2 hours late and everything. And so I didn't get into Wisconsin Dells till 3 a.m. That was pretty rough.
We talk about the funny thing that you text me though?
Oh man, I'm forgetting what I text you.
Oh, I'll lean in. What was so funny is you were like, man, everything in Wisconsin is unhealthy. Right?
Oh yeah.
What?
Trey, listen. Wisconsin is amazing, right?
Okay.
Wisconsin's amazing. It is the supper club capital of the U.S., right?
Oh yeah.
It's amazing. And if you guys don't know what a supper club is, a supper club, it's such a unique experience because it's something that's trapped in time. And that time is 1974, right? And when you go in, I'm pretty certain there's still smoking sessions in supper clubs in Wisconsin, right? But they're also the food chain capital. Every food chain you could imagine, if there's this type of big food chain, they've got that restaurant there. And it's everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. But it's got to be B-Dubs. It's going to be Cane's Chicken. It's going to be Chili's. It's got to be something like that, right? Where did you end up eating, Jeff? That's really the question I should ask.
Well, I ate at the hotel, several spots, right? So that was good. Mm-hmm. I got, let's see. Sunday we ate at the market in Milwaukee. So we went to Milwaukee downtown.
Now that's cool.
That was really cool. And there was so much good food everywhere. It was the craziest, busiest place. It was fun.
Now, let me tell you about something I'm pretty certain you didn't get. But if you would, you almost get it just to see it in front of you. And Trey, you probably don't know nothing about this, right? But if you get a Bloody Mary in that market area,
yeah,
the drink is the side, right? No. Those things will come with a slice of pizza.
Yeah, all right.
Cheeseburgers.
You got the whole jungle.
Right. Yeah, and I see someone with a sausage and a pickle and a drink. I mean, what is going on?
Yes, that is exactly it. And you're there wondering, what is happening? What is this experience? Okay. Why do I have this cone of food above my drink? This doesn't make any sense. And you know what Wisconsinites do? They go, yeah, let's add more.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, somehow this works. And it's an awesome experience. You might go get a 96-ounce T-bone steak, something like that. Or you're like, this is madness.
It is. It is. Everything was big there. So no, I love it. And it was great to be back at Infinity National Championships. Trey, so you had a killer weekend. You won both the Forms Grand and the Weapons Grand. And then 10th Degree sponsored an overall Weapons Grand, right? So that means the junior winners versus the adult winners. So it was what, five champions against.
So, yeah.
And Trey came out on top, won the extra $1,000. So what was that like, man?
It's almost like, it's honestly hard to explain how you feel, because all of the preparation that leads up to it, it's just like you feel happy. Yeah. Everything that I prepared for, everything led to that moment that night, and it was a surreal experience.
Yeah, and the thing is,
dude, into that more.
Yeah, he wants you to lean in there more. But the thing, what I saw was like you were on fire, but you were also having a lot of fun. Like I felt like all your performances, you were having a blast, you were enjoying it, and then you were also cheering on the person right after you as loud as you could. And so I appreciated that. For me, I judged you in the finals. I didn't judge you in the divisions, but in the finals, I judged you. And I watch you and I feel like, okay, he's getting ready for this next part. I feel like it's like, okay, he's going to be ready when it comes battle time. He's going to be ready when it comes US Open time. Because to me, your precision is now there. You know, you've had the difficulty for a long time. Now it's just like everything is just solid, strong, and your performance is there as well, you know. So you control that stage, and it was impressive, man. So keep it up.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
I like the word you used when you said like you just felt happy. And sometimes we get so like stuck into like the intensity and how you have to execute and who you got to beat and you got to focus on this. And sometimes the joy, we forget about that. And it just kind of feels like you just have joy. You just have joy doing martial arts. And you know what? It's hard to be upset at a person who beats you. That's just joyful about what they do. You know what I mean?
No, like my competitors are so amazing. And I'm like, I'm not even mad when I get beat by Judah or Wasim or Nolan. Like, it's just like, that was a really good form.
It's true. It's true.
Jeff, have you heard a champion like this talk like that about like, I can't think of the last time I heard a champion talk like that. Trey, this is awesome.
Yeah, it is definitely cool. Definitely.
You don't think there's anything different about it, but you have a great approach to it. So I love your approach.
Yeah. So, Trey, explain a little bit just of your, you know, I know I got sent some of your background, but as far as, you know, where you started and where you traveled to for training and stuff.
Yeah. So I started at like when I was 5 doing karate down the road in the mall. And that was with Tyler Hinkle.
Yeah.
And then schools moved, instructors changed, and I was working with Connor Chastain.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's a lot of worse people you could train with. Wow.
I was super blessed to have him with me. An amazing person. He was with Infinity, so he introduced me to Mike Welch and everyone, and then I got on the junior team, the Infinity team. So I competed with them a little bit, went to their trainings up in Madison, which is like 2 hours away from here.
Yeah, what town are you from, Trey?
Yeah, so I'm from Wisconsin Rapids. It's like as in the middle of Wisconsin as you can kind of get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not really close to anything.
I'm like the same amount of, if I'm here, everything is like here. So I got to go like there or there or there.
So does that make commuting to training challenging?
Oh yeah, definitely. So like, since I got on Infinity, I would make like a 2-hour trip there and back every Sunday or Saturday, depending on what the training was. And yeah, but it's paid off, so I wouldn't have changed it. I really liked that, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely, and I understand that. You know, we've talked about in the past, Alex, just about the different sacrifices that people have had to make. You know, like I always share. You know, like I went 10 years without a real dojo. You know, and I just went traveling wherever I could to train, and I trained outside, did all my forms outside, and until I had a chance to go and train somewhere else. You know, and so I mean, it's the same thing. The real champions that won it, they do that extra part. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, it actually makes them better. I think a lot of times, like the ones that really have to have that extra step that makes that maybe that little struggle, you see them accomplish way more. So
Mhm.
so it's pretty cool. Yeah, Carolina, you're right. So let's talk about the tournament over the weekend. What was Trey? What are your favorite parts of going to Infinity National Championships?
Oh
It could
man,
be this year, it could be every year.
yeah. Ah, it's like home turf.
Yeah,
It's awesome. It's amazing to be there. All of my students, I get to see and I get to run around ring from ring, cheering them on and supporting them. That's a big one. I really, really enjoy seeing them compete. Because when I go to bigger NASCA tournaments, they're not always there because it's hard to get to and whatever. But this tournament has the same vibe, same competitive atmosphere as a NASCA tournament, which I really, really like.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. It definitely was a cool vibe. I love the organization, the way that I mean, literally, the tournament was done by like 1:15 on Saturday. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
that was awesome.
It was pretty awesome. A funny note, it's like I was ready. They were trying to get me to like go to lunch at my ring. I was judging Saturday. Go to lunch like 10:45. I'm like, can we at least get like, because we were done with all the forms, the grands, and then we were ready to do fighting. And we're like, we have 3 divisions. All right. And I tell Ron Cam, like, all right, can I do this one and then we'll go? He's like, okay, yeah, because if you don't do it, you'll be done at like 12:15. All right, that sounds great. I ended up being the last division, the last ring done of the whole tournament because I had like a double, because all the sparring's double elimination. And I
Yeah.
had the one ring where it was like 9 guys and there was, some injuries and some things and some stuff. And
Oh
so
yeah.
I had to kind of, step up a little bit. It was just so funny. Like, Ron, how did it, we were about to be the first division or ring done and then we're the last, but it was kind of funny how that works. It always seems like that, right? But yeah, I loved it. I competed Friday, did all the, one thing that was cool to do all the adult forms of weapons on Friday night, get everybody done. Then this year they did the senior, the 35 plus grand. So was able to win that. This is again, my first time ever really competing in Infinity because the other times I was head coordinator and running it. So
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. So it was a lot of fun with that. A lot of good competition. And man, I mean, just the atmosphere is great. Supporting 2 of my great friends like Mike and Jeff Orlowski, and seeing people I hadn't seen in a while. Like I've known like Hunter Orlowski and Alex Riggs since they were like, 7, 8, 9. So competing, and so it's always good to see them and also their family and such. So it was really a fun time. Some of the other names, guys, if you were there, shout out who won. Colin had a big weekend, Rachel. It was, I mean, huge weekend. He killed it this weekend. Joe Troya killed it. Those guys continue to get better. Oh, I'll share a funny thing. So I'm again judging the finals, and they have the little notepad there, and I'm watching their form, and I'm like, I'm just thinking of like, what would I write as a note for their team form? And I just put like synctensity. Okay. I think I made up a word. And really it is. It's like their intensity is in sync. Like everything they do when they do their form is in sync. Even the way, their attitude, everything. It's insane. Like how those two go, because sometimes, you know what, when you're doing team forms, someone has to maybe come down a little bit. Someone has to maybe come a little bit. It's, and that was what I was really impressed with watching the team demo as well with some of you guys, because what was cool is, yes, we have Team Infinity, but everyone kind of split up and did their school's demo, right? Or you had a lot of guys with No Limit or with Team Conquer. So it was really cool to see that. And I'll get to that in a second, but I just thought that, like, AKA, man, they are like synctensity. That's the new word for them.
Well, that's a really good point, Jeff, if you think about it, because when people do team forms, I mean, they're two different people, two totally different personalities. So even if they're doing the same moves at the same time, having the same like level of like just volume.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes someone's got to come up or down, or sometimes they just don't. And one person just is higher or lower as far as the volume, but the volume, the facial expressions, the body language, the overall power, like if it is truly in sync, that's hard to do. What are the team forms in history where it's been like that? Now that you present it that way, Jeff, I've never really analyzed it like that.
Yeah, I always noticed it a big thing, because that was one of the comparisons I was thinking of, one compared to the other. It's like, okay, there's just maybe the energies aren't the same, or their facial expression aren't the same. And so they do a good job on that. So I don't know. That's someone we'll have to talk about. I know we'll have some later on. We'll have some other guys that have done some amazing team forms, in the past as well. So we'll talk about that as well. We'll ask him that question. But let's see. So shout out to them again. Yeah, you guys doing demo with all your students, I thought was really cool. Shout out to Nolan for doing 2 demos back to back.
Oh my gosh.
It was insane. He did the younger Conquer and the older one. Like it was wild. So that was pretty cool for him. And another thing, Nolan can go so fast with the bow, right? And to me, it was impressive that he was able to, stay at that level where he wasn't faster than any of his students. He was going the same with them. He was able to keep that and make it look good. Didn't look like he was slowing down, but he didn't make it like he was outclassing them either. It was really, really cool. So that's impressive, because I think that's hard to do with team forums and demo and stuff. So pretty cool. Shout out to Joe Boone. That dude had 4 guys that won, 4 champions that won grand champion. So, I mean, some amazing competitors. He better get on here and say the names, because I mess their name up all the time. But there's a lot of great competitors. He had the women's fighting champion, both of the junior fighting champions, and then also the women's weapons champion, which I was super impressed with her. Her traditional weapon was amazing. So, and then also congrats to Max for winning the weapons title for the adults. Another person that I feel like shined and surprised a lot of people, because he's not from the area, so a lot of you guys probably haven't seen him before, was Brandon Osborne's student. Okay. You competed with the boat, the little guy. Why did I just forget his name? Help me out, Trey. I know.
Yeah, don't ask me.
I know. Well, listen, I've seen him so many times lately at Pro Mac tournaments, killing. Yes, Dayton.
Was it Dayton?
Dayton.
Yeah. That guy's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Dude.
And he's got a really strong future ahead of him.
Oh yeah.
I love his energy, his his presence that he shows, and also of course, Brandon makes sure that his music is on point with the choreography and everything like that. So it was pretty cool. He trains Brandon. He also trains with Kalman. So it's a really, really cool way to see that Kalman influence into a bow form. So it's pretty exciting to see.
Yeah, he does one catch in his form, double spinning lands like this, and it's awesome. It's so cool.
Yes. Oh, one more shout out to this guy, Mike on the mic. Mike Undra on the mic.
Oh yeah, Mo's awesome.
Amazing. Yo, They found one of the best announcers, I think. Just everybody needs to schedule him, book him for their tournament.
Well, who is it?
His voice is
Mike.
angelic.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was pretty awesome. So congrats to him. Congrats for all of that. He's been out of the game for 20 years and making a comeback in sport martial arts. So
Awesome.
pretty exciting. So Trey, you just had not only a good weekend at Affinity, but you also won at Quebec. What's your next? Well, we have Pan Am's this weekend. Will you be there?
I will. Yeah, we just booked flights. We will be in Pan Am's. Yeah.
Time out.
You got
It's this
$1,000
weekend. You just booked the flights?
Well, not just, but we booked them a little bit ago.
All right. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Flights are usually pretty easy to find from here to Miami or Orlando.
But yeah, Miami's kind of a hub. It's when you want to get to, the middle of nowhere, Virginia. That's going to be challenging.
It's true.
Really?
It's true. Man. Well, Trey, man, good luck this weekend, and congrats on just amazing week, and keep up the good work. And we're excited to see, your next step, man.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited.
Trey, we are super proud of you. I love your shtick. I love your personality. I love your positivity. I think you got an amazing, bright future ahead of you. Stop beating my score in that kicking power machine. That was really cool also, by the way.
If I was any cooler, I'd be you.
There you go.
See him? Look at this guy.
Look at this guy. Awesome, Trey. Well, keep up the good work, man. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. This was amazing.
Awesome.
Pleasure's on this side, man.
That's right. Keep up the good work. Tell family we said hey.
Yep.
All right. See you, bud.
That was almost a Wisconsin thing you did right there. When you got to twist it and go, tell your folks I says hi. Then it's Wisconsin.
All right. So now we got two amazing guests. We got Rudy and we got Mackensi. How are you guys?
Hey,
Hey.
good.
What's up? Long time no see.
I know it's been a couple years.
Yeah, don't call it a comeback.
For you. I know, Kenzie, this is your first time, I think, on the show. So
It is. Thanks for having me.
How have you been?
Here.
I've been good. I've been busy, which is good. The industry's kind of been a little slow and weird the last couple of years, getting out of the strike and everything. But I've been super lucky this year, so I've been busy. So it's good.
It's always good.
Well,
Yeah.
For those that don't know what that is, what do you mean when you say the industry's been weird?
Oh, okay. Well, I do stunt work, so we went on strike. Different people through in the industry, like IATSE and SAG. We did different strikes throughout the last couple of years. So the writers went on strike, so then we couldn't work or do any TV shows or any writing. And then obviously when SAG goes on strike, we can't be performing. So coming back out of that, it's been a little slow. Studios haven't really been filming in LA as much. Atlanta's been really slow. They're starting to get things now, but a lot of things went to London. Like Marvel signed a contract in London to film. So
Really?
not many things are filmed in Atlanta right now. So it's just been slow for everyone with work kind of spread out. And they're not really flying us out to go many places unless they're like the top. And even that's kind of spotty. So just work is spread out and everyone's kind of fighting for whatever there is. So, but I've been pretty lucky. So I'm very blessed right now.
So I don't know much about the stunt world. I
Mhm.
just hear it through you guys. That's
Uh-huh.
how I find out. So because I thought Atlanta was like the new hub, right?
And it has been, yeah.
So what you're saying is hey, stuff's gone to the UK.
Mhm.
If you were to say, hey, I'll get there, I don't know, what does that do?
I mean, you could. The thing is, they want to save money. So even if you were working as a local over there, you're trying to work as SAG. So we have a union. So they're going to want to hire whatever union, or I don't even know I don't know what union they have over there. I should probably know that. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to hire their local performers. It's
So
cheaper.
it's all the
It's
gatekeepers.
easier. So right now, everyone's pretty much hiring local to wherever you're at. So if they want you in New York for Daredevil or whatever show is there, you need to be flying yourself out if you want that job and working as a local. That's not how it's always been. Usually it's like, hey, we want your skill set. Like I was on Thunderbolts before that came out. They wanted me for that week that I was out there. They flew me out, put me up. They're paying for me to be there. Right now, how things kind of are, you're kind of flying yourself out, putting yourself up and doing that. So you could do that. And a lot of people are doing that within the United States. And right now that is really worth it just to get work and to have things on your resume, keep the connections. But when it comes to like out of the country, it's harder to do that. You would probably need to be flown out and stuff like that. They're just going to hire a local. It's cheaper. So,
Wow.
yeah.
All right. I'll
Been a
learn
little
some new things.
I know. Yeah.
All right, Rudy. So what about you? What you been up to, man?
Man, a whole lot, that's for sure. But for the most part, just really focusing on teaching remotely. That's been taking up most of my time. Along with that, music and working on the clothing in between all of that. So
You got a clothing line?
yeah, Realize You, baby, come on.
I need to get me some.
That's
I think you mentioned about it last time too, but
I didn't
you know,
have.
the word is still developing.
All right,
you
send
know.
me a link. I'm gonna get me some.
Cool. I'll send you. But yeah, but for the most part, just trying to catch up on rest, to be honest.
Ah,
I mean,
yes. Yes.
you know, we in our mid-30s now, and I was feeling it, bro. That's all I gotta say
It
about
doesn't
that.
get any better, man. It doesn't get any better. And the times where I should rest, then I find myself going somewhere else. So
Hey,
yeah, doing something. It's just the way it is.
I know, man. I know. It's either that or I'm doom scrolling right before going to bed. I'm like, Jesus, can't get my mind to go to rest. But yeah, living my best life is what I'm saying.
Well, okay. So you mentioned like you're teaching remotely, all right?
Yeah.
There's got to be, I don't know, but you tell me. There's got to be quite a big demand for that from you. What is that like?
So I put a cap on it. I put a limit on it so that way I can keep a focus on the students and for the most part too, kind of just make time for myself. Because if I don't have my cup filled up, how am I going to give my whole my 100%? You know.
Yep.
So yes, the demand is actually like picking up, which is I'm super grateful for in times like this. You know, Mackenzie's talking about the industry like not struggling, but it's like you got to pay your way out that way to go work.
Mm-hmm.
That don't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. I'm just like, okay, well, I mean, all of us are trying to figure out how to adapt, you know, so this is the best way possible, I think, you know, that I've created out of, you know, this martial arts career and things like that. And ultimately, too, it's just where my interest is at, you know, so I would have loved to go, you know, towards the stunt world. And I'm doing that here and there and things like that. But, you know, my body from injuries and things like that is just saying, hey, what other options do you got there?
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, let's lean into that a little bit because
Sure.
you guys are the generation right after Jeff and I. So there are some advantages to that in that for the most of your competition career, you had mats, right? We didn't even have mats during training, right? But listen, Rudy, I know we had the times where it was a sheet of carpet and then cold concrete underneath it. I know, I get it, right?
Yeah.
All those.
My knees are shivering right now from that. I'm just like, we were hitting splits on there.
I know.
We were busting our knees.
Yes.
Well, it's funny. Like stages back then, you know, like stages were.
You remember
like,
the Quebec stage?
Yeah, we're just the stage. Like, you know, they have like they're put together. There's holes in that. You know what I mean? Like we were just competing just on that. Like it was wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, what's that doing to your body? You say like, man, I'm feeling it now. What are some areas where you're just like, I'll never forget that. My knee's never going to let me forget that. Do you guys have things like that your challenges that you guys are working through?
Oh, well, for me, for sure, my knees and my heels.
Mhm.
Because when you're at tournaments and you got to pull that back pocket weapon and it involves a split, you're gonna go for broke, and sometimes that as a child, you're not thinking too much about uh safety. You're kind of just trucking and going, you know. So those are the things I kind of like tell my students nowadays. I'm just like, hey, like there's ways to do the split move. Don't chuck it in one and gun it, control
Yeah.
your body.
Yeah.
Because
You
you'll
know,
bust the inside of your knee, you'll bust your heel.
yes, and then also too, you don't know the damage that's gonna, end up being after some years.
Mhm.
And so I've noticed like, wow, it was like really affecting my back and all these things. And I got in a car accident in 2021 that kind of just triggered everything. And the bounce back behind that has been like such a dramatic thing for me because, like, as martial artists, this is our identity, or just as humans, for us being martial artists, this is our art, and this is how we express ourselves. So when something like that is taken away from you, you definitely go through a wave of depression and really testing what it is to get out of that, and ultimately it's kind of just life telling you, hey, like this is just a direction shift, there's other options, it's not the end all, so it's been challenging, but also I'm like, well, if that didn't happen, this wouldn't have been created, so just gotta be optimistic at the end of the day, and making sure you just show up, and that's been my thing personally, from all of the development that's been leading up to this point, being on this stream.
There you go. Now, Mackensi, share some of that just as far as the things you feel from like what we talk about past injuries that are putting you. I mean, you use your body daily for you and you need it for your job. So
it is. I think when I was younger, like I didn't really warm up as much, or like I wasn't stretching maybe like as much as I should have, because I was always tricking or I was always active. So it just kind of like happened when I was training. So now where I'm not doing like forms training every day or whatever that is, like I definitely need, like I've been taking that more into account, is recovery, and not just recovering when I feel like my body's tight or when I feel like a little injury. Because I've had some knee stuff, like I had a meniscus tear and all that, and so it's pretty minor. But still, since then, I'm like, I have to roll out, my hamstring and my hips, and like everything just is a little tighter, and yeah, and on set too, and same with like competing. It's a lot of hurry up and wait. Like you have to, get ready, and then you're sitting until it's your time, and then you stop, and then you go back. Like, so it's just kind of that, making sure your body can maintain that and still perform by doing that. And on set, you could get in your harness and then be sitting there for 8 hours until you have to just go and do your wire gag. So it's just kind of knowing and listening to my body and understanding where I'm at, and that it can be different days, and kind of channeling what I do need. And if I need to get an adjustment like chiropractor, then I'm going to go do that, and don't just say like, oh, it's fine, and I'll be okay. So I think it's just really listening more to what I need and eating cleaner and taking care of my body so I can continue to do this long term, I think is huge, because I didn't pay attention to much of that when I was younger. But my body's been pretty healthy for the most part, so I'm very lucky with that too.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
What is the biggest hurry up and wait? Is it being on set for a film, or is it waiting for a division or runoff at the US Open?
I was going to say, depends if it's US Open or not. I don't know. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Definitely
you like that I
different.
picked the correct
I don't
tournament
know,
too,
it's
by the way?
I feel like it like trained me though. Like that mentality already, like I'm used to it. So
That's a good point.
from when I was younger. So I think going into stunts, it's not like a shock to the system in my mental state. And
Yep.
you know, I have so many coaches and mentors that have been doing stunts for so long, which is a huge reason why I got into the industry. So I've kind of known about this, like stories and everything. So you never really understand it until you're in that position. But there was one time, like, I did put a harness on at like 6 p.m. and I didn't do my wire gag until 4 a.m. And then I just had to like be good and do it. So that, you know, it is a little challenging. You get like maybe a couple minute heads up, but every job's different. You know, it's not always like that.
Yeah.
So is the harness like really cumbersome? Is it just like
Well, I
pain in the
definitely
butt?
loosen it until I have to tighten it and actually perform in it. But it depends on like your outfit. Like I've been in some crazy outfits where you can't adjust too much, and it depends on like how many pads you have. It just kind of depends on wardrobe and things like that. But yeah, the harness is not the most comfy thing to be in.
So my
So,
mind immediately is
yeah.
like, what if you got to go to the bathroom?
Depends where they're at in the call sheet or like in the time of like the day. And I don't know, you just kind of have to either hold it or
See how we get so nervous.
figure it out.
I wouldn't even drink anything because I would get so nervous that like it's gonna happen. I'm like, I'm not about to get to the point where I'm like, hang on, guys, I'll be right back. They'll never
It's
hire me
always
back
been.
again.
It's always like when you're like, I think I can go, that they're like, hey, you have 5 minutes. And you're like, okay, well, I won't go then. So it just, kind of depends.
Wow.
It's a fun game to play.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Yeah.
Holding is never fun. Okay. All right. So let's get into the event we're gonna talk about, but then that way we can talk about some other things after, so we don't get to where we don't have enough time to share about this. But you guys have the Champions SMA workshop, Sport Martial Arts workshop, May 31st. Share where it's at and how, what's happening there.
Yes, sir. So it's in SoCal. It's going to be held at Loop Kick SoCal facility, and it's on May 31st. This is our third time hosting a workshop, and it's funny because I ran into Mackensi at Compete Nationals, and I was like, hey, maybe we should, do something. And then I was like, well, let's just activate on this. And so I just messaged her and said, hey, do you want to be a guest coach? And she was like, I'm super down, and here we are. And so on top of that, we have the original GOAT coaches, the GOAT coaches, Jack Felton, Sensei Shaheen, and Steve Terada, and myself. And so it starts at 7 a.m. So you know how NASCAR tournaments are. They all are mainly in the East Coast. So for people here on the West Coast, we're kind of sleep deprived, and we have a bit of jet lag. So that's kind of like a moment of training for that, waking up early and saying, hey, it's actually, we're going to say it's 10 o'clock right now in our brain. So that's why we're taking advantage of the early bird moment. And then also as well, it's split up between sessions, advanced, and beginners. So we have chances for everybody to join. And we're covering things from traditional to creative to extreme forms, sword, of course, commas, and sparring. And specifically for me, on my end, I'm going to be making sure everybody looks sharp on their basics and making sure they tap into their creativity. And Mackensi, she's going to be going over her flourishment and her creative endeavors in the comma world. I do this because she did that a lot with the comma.
Yeah. I got it. Yep, I picked up.
And we're also going to have some giveaways. First Division at Elite Summer Showdown, and Orange Coast Junior Nationals, and giving away commas from 10th degree, and then also giving away an Iceman International shirt. Plus, every attendee receives event shirt and a poster certificate. So we got some cool things going on top of what we're also providing on the floor. So yeah, they get us from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that's a long time. And right now it's on sale. So the original price is priced at $250. And we said, well, let's just give an incentive for people, you know. And right now the flash sale just finished. We had it at $149. So we bumped it up $24. It's at $174. So you know, slots are filling up though. People are like, oh my God, should I go? Yes, go. Yeah. This doesn't happen all the time, you know.
No, I mean, yes, sometimes there's things like this that do happen, but over the history of like sport karate competition, like a handful of times. Like and over the history of it, if you really you go back over, Rudy, you kind of breezed over like that's like an overview of like who's going to be there, but it is really amazing if you think about like when we go to martial arts competitions, we want to be around all of that. Jeff and I, a few weeks back, we talked about, you guys were always there for it too, when sometimes people would go to tournaments just for the tricking. And they wouldn't have nothing to do with like a competition. They just wanted to be there because they knew trickers would be there, and they just kind of wanted to made it their own gathering. It's before gatherings even started, right? Yeah. And they would just go to be around and then watch high level martial arts competition. Well, now it's not just that, it's that, and everyone's going to elevate. Whoever's there, we're elevating, and that's such an awesome experience. How cool is that?
For sure. It's like, you know, the community. We want to just, you know, make sure we have a space for the community and a place to share our knowledge at the end of the day. Because, I mean, we've done this for such a long time, and it's such a niche part of martial arts world, you know, and so we got a lot to say. We got a lot to cover within that time frame. Oh, I also forgot that we have moments of private lessons as well. So in between the nooks and crannies of it, there's opportunity for that as well.
That's huge. That's huge. That's awesome, man. I mean, the cool thing is that you guys all got together, you know, to make this a big deal. I think that that's huge. One of the things I want to talk about, because again, you guys are teaching private lessons, doing a lot, not just at this event, but Alex, I think we had Casey and Lauren on once, right? And they talked about how it takes a team to make a competitor, right? And all these other sports, you know, like you have a football player, they have a strength conditioning coach, they have a throwing coach, they have their offensive coach, they have their regular coach, they have this and that. And sport martial arts, I feel like just now we're kind of getting that, right? You know, maybe so there's some people that kind of had that, but, you know, and I'm bringing this up because, again, Mackensi and I both teach, you know, same students. Rudy and I teach some of the same students. And that thing of bringing that person up with multiple people, right? And I think sometimes, you know, there's always those things where, no, this is my student, this is this and that. We all have to kind of work on how to bring it together about that person, right? So share a little bit about that. Like, what's your mindset on that? I feel like for me, I love for more like sessions of, not meaning like all train together, but those coaches to get together more and have that, hey, this is where we see this competitor going, right? Let's get our brains together so that way we can make sure whatever I'm doing on this side of their competition isn't hurting them on that side or vice versa, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what matters the most in that scenario is communication and allowing for people to thrive. And I would say, you know, every person has a weakness and a strength, you know, so why not lean into that strength with what you can provide for that student?
Correct.
You know, so For example, for me, I'm not a Chucks guy. You know, it doesn't make sense for me to be like touching a Chuck form, you know. So yeah, 100% communication is a big one for me.
Yeah, definitely. Mackensi, you feel the same way on that? I think definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think like with Maddie, right? Like she has a strength conditioning coach. You've seen her for like her traditional, for her kicks. And like there's only so much I can work with her to in one session. And we're focused on like the extreme forms and commas. She has Kalman for sword. There's only so much I can handle or like we can go through in the hour or in that short amount of time. And it's different when I like go out and I'll train her, which I'm actually going to see her this weekend. But like when you started working with her on her kicks, like her side kicks and stuff, it had a massive improvement. That's not an area that we really get to spend so much time on, but it's still so important, right? To like her forms and to be well-rounded competitor, and she loves her Korean forms. And so I think it is important when, you know, competitors are competing in multiple divisions and are doing two different weapons and traditional, and you can only do so much as one coach. And it's about, you know, in this case, I brought up Maddie, it's for the best interest of her and what's going to make her the best competitor and her grow, not just as a competitor on the mat, but outside the mat too, and as a person. So I think, you know, it is hard sometimes when you know, other people touch like, oh, that's like my form where we put that in, but it's really what Maddie wants or your athlete wants.
Right.
And what's going to make them better at the end of the day.
Yep.
So,
Well, let's also call out kind of what's also happening here. Rudy, you said like, man, we're in our 30s now. But you two specifically, let's just think about it. You two, all right, Mackensi, Rudy, you guys were kind of one of the first to kind of do what you did. And I don't mean that like having like a very young, successful martial arts competitor. What I mean is that like, okay, Mackensi, let's talk about you specifically. Before your competition days, there were very few women or girls that were very good at extreme movements and forms, right? So there was like Caitlin Deschelle, she's very good, right? But there wasn't like 6, 7, you know, female competitors that could do those kind of extreme movements, right? So when you were doing that, it was a very new thing. Rudy, when you were competing, like there were some very young competitors, like I mean, Jeff and I mentioned, you know, every now and then, but like a guy like Wayne Douglas, right? That was in the same time frame as when you guys were competing, or even just a teammate of yours, James Solis, right? Like, yeah, there was some guys like that, but like when you carried it and you were competing, like you went through a lot of it. You went from a very young youth to being successful as an adult as well. So you went through the gamut. And now you're on the other side of it. So when you are talking to a teenage competitor, you have a totally different perspective where you're like, listen, I know what you're thinking. I was there. It wasn't that long ago. All right. Let me help you. So you guys do have the unique ability of being someone that everyone knows. You've had the highest of high success rates, but you're not old like me. Right. So you're really, the two of you guys are really kind of in this sweet spot where everybody can kind of recognize with you. I think the time is now for you guys to capture that. Whatever you guys are doing with this, I think this event is phenomenal. I'm so excited for you guys to do this.
Thank you.
Me too.
Yeah. I have to mention Sensei Chris Crisostomo. He's from SoCal, and he's been helping behind the scenes of all of this and putting it together. And without him, you know, we wouldn't be able to, you know, have that access to reaching out to all the schools and surrounded areas and people like that. So it's been a team effort in all types of ways. And kind of just bouncing back from like what you were just mentioning right now. I mean, when I was working with Mackensi when she was super young, man, it was some interesting times, you know, like because I was young too, you know, and I didn't have we were already, but we were both in the field, is what I'm saying. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so having that coaching while I was in the field was
very
a whole
different.
different beast, you know, because we would also train together too, you know. So on top of that too, I think I was a little bit more of like a really go-getter coach. And I really doubled down on you know, our training and really created a beast essentially, you know. And you know, the thing I'm really proud of Mackensi, you know,
Thank
just seeing
you.
all the things that she's done and doing, you know, out of, you know, the sport. And that's how you do it, you know, you transition into that way, you know, if you have the energy and the spirit to do it. So um that's a champion's mindset right there, you know. And so 100% we want to make sure that we bring that energy into the workshop and making sure, hey, like, you know, this is about our sport, but also to, hey, we're preparing for the 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, you know, ahead of you, you know, bringing that energy, you know, because martial arts is just our foundation at the end of the day. But what are we out of martial arts? You know, we still got to exist at the grocery stores, chop it up with other people, you know, on a normal level. And that's honestly what matters the most, you know. And we're lucky at the end of the day because we get to see through the martial way, you know. And hey, like, martial arts for life, for real, because the more I dive into my art in, you know, different multifaceted ways, I'm like, it's just like this, you know. So just me thinking like on a coach level, I'm just like, this is the stuff that I say to like some of my students, you know, and kind of just creating like scenarios and opportunities of things that they may relate to, you know. But yeah, I think my mind is just kind of going off on a tangent at this point. But yes, Champion Sport Martial Arts Workshop is gonna be a good time. And it's just getting better because we have, you know, a special guest. We haven't been on the same floor for years, you know, and the only time we saw each other was at jam, very rarely.
We did.
Yes. And then what we would do was like, hey, let's just do a sync snapu swipe, you know, and then that
Hey,
was it.
that's pretty cool though. Like that's a cool thing that we both do. Snappy swipe.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Awesome.
think you're the first girl to throw a snapu swipe.
Damn.
Let's go.
There you go. Nice.
I haven't done one in a minute,
Hey,
but
me
I am.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay, so Loop Kicks is where it's going to be. Do you anticipate any guest cameo appearances?
I don't know. As far as like Loop Kicks,
Like, let's just say like a random like Chris Devera just shows up, something like
you never
that.
know. Maybe.
See, that's what I'm
We
talking.
get to see. I get to see him during Loop Kicks gathering, and that
Yeah.
happened June, like mid-June.
Right.
You know, so those are the times where I'm like, oh, super nostalgic moments, you know.
Yeah.
That's always fun. That's always fun.
Yeah.
See, I feel like that was like a very SoCal answer when I was asking that. He's like, you never know.
You never
Yeah,
know.
it's
Never
true.
know.
I mean, let me think. I don't know. I don't want to think too deeply on it because I don't want to get my hopes up. That would be cool if Chris came through, or like
Kim.
Doe. I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah.
I know last time I seen him was in Georgia, so I don't know.
Yeah.
He may be down there,
Wow.
but I'm not sure. Yeah. I mean, I see a lot of these guys now. I see them at Battle every year now. So
Okay.
that group that's down there. But again, like Kenzie's saying, they're a lot of them are moving as well. So it's kind of wild right now with the industry. So We had Jefferson Lewis on
Oh, nice.
a couple of months ago, and was talking about what he's been doing since because of that, and now his social media is blown up because of, I don't know if you've seen like him doing his fight scenes and stuff on that. He's just it's blowing up big time, so it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, we actually collabed when it was funny because I was like, hey, are you so happen to come out to LA during competes? And then he was like, I'm actually on a flight to LA right now. And so I think it was Saturday night. We met up and built out like a fight, and then we shot it that night. And we weren't sure if we were gonna do it. And it's on his social media too. We also collab on the post, but yeah, his brain, like the way he thinks, I'm just like, this is exactly where I want to be with this type of stuff, you know? Because I barely got my feet wet in stunt, and people are always like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? I'm like, I want to do it, but like I'm art ADHD, you know, like so I'm all over the place with it. And I think that's just something of my livelihood where I'm just like, that's how I exist, you know. But yeah, Jefferson is crazy with the camera and with the fight choreography too. Yeah. It was so smooth to create and make stuff happen. And just to lock in that way really gave my spirit such a lift for sure.
That's cool. I like that. I like that. One more thing, another thing as far as talking about students and teaching and coaching. And I think, you know, like we've seen the ones where you see the student, you can tell already who their instructor is. But then you also have the ones where a really good instructor is someone that understands how to highlight maybe something that's not your strength and still make it that way, right? And I tell people forever that, you know, I learned that from when I started martial arts like competitions, because John Valera was my coach, and he didn't say, hey, I want you just to do this and take away your kicks. No, he still created my style to be like my style with everything else around it that made it the best, right? So, and let's see, I'm having some issue here.
Well, I mean, if you just look to piggyback off of that, Jeff, I mean, he's a very good coach, just like what you're saying.
Yeah.
He's your coach. He's Rudy's coach.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are polar opposites.
Right. Exactly.
Well, and I think like for me too, because like I'm not gonna look how Rudy moves. Like especially as a female, I'm built different. I was a young girl when Rudy was training me, and so Rudy was so good at like finding moves that look good on me that were also in his like style because we kind of fit in that way. But he didn't ever like give me stuff and be like, you have to do this and make it look like what I do. Because it's like not going to happen. Like it just doesn't make sense. So I feel like that was a great, you know, the reason I made it as far as I did was because I kind of had that mentality as a student, like with my coach. And then now with like Maddie, she has a completely different body type than I do. She's long and lengthy, and she's got the limbs I don't have. Like, you know, it's just a different movement. So trying to find what is looking good on her as she's growing, because she's had a massive growth spurt, it just changes. It's just very, right? You get it. So it's just very different. And like, so trying to navigate that too, just with a female student, like it still can be different. So I think, it's just, you just have to learn how to adapt and, like you said, make your student shine and find what they love doing.
And I think that's what people are going to get, again, at this seminar, at this workshop, also with like-minded, you know, people that know, hey, we're all here to help mold this competitor into something special. So, I mean, and that's what we got to remember is, you know, again, like Rudy always said, just like the art side of the martial arts. Like that's what we are. We are artists. And I think our area of martial arts is like where you see that the most, right? And it's pretty exciting.
Absolutely.
Pretty cool. Alex, you look like you're
I'm
thinking.
deep in thought. Well,
I
don't want to pivot a lot, but I want to know, Rudy, I want to know what the music world is like.
Yeah.
Oh, the music world, man. the more you dive into it, you just have to understand that you have to love it, because you have to earn it each time, you know, like a release or even the project that you released prior. You have to strip away from the expectations of what you think it's going to do, you know, and just make music and just love it. Because at the end of the day, I'm at a point now where I'm like making so much music, I have to create the discipline to say, okay, capitalize on it, capitalize on the sound, and continue to build that world, whatever the sound is. For example, my project right now is a mixture of alternative hip hop, R&B, and all types of ways of expression through how I see hip hop. You see what I'm saying? And I'm producing it, I'm writing it. So I'm also learning, like, man, I put on all these hats and I'm actually psycho, you know, like and and to that point where I have to say, okay, let's start bringing in people that have are better than me, you know, in certain aspects, which is maybe they're better at art direction or can make my vision way bigger than whatever I dreamed of. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, for the most part though, you just have to be highly passionate about it, you know, just as much as you are with any other type of art, you know. So it's very time consuming, and also too, it could be heartbreaking too.
Well, talk about that. What does you mean by that? Heartbreaking. What do you mean?
Oh, I mean, it's like, you know, you have expectations of a song, right? And you're just like, oh, this one's gonna be a big one, and then it just like flops, and then you're just like, well, you have to go back to the drawing board and go, what did I miss out on? What did I not plan for it to succeed? You know, but also too, music is subjective, 100%.
100%. 100%.
But the music industry, the music business, it's just savage. You know, it's just savage. So it's also very expensive too, you know. And so learning through the trials and tribulations and succeeding and failing over and then learning that, like, maybe, hey, that failure wasn't a failure at all. It was just like, hey, you just missed that one little thing, and then you apply that, then it becomes a success. You see what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of learning and applying as we go, and just being patient for one too, you know. But also too, it's been helping me be me, you know. I've been talking about this a lot, about being a coach and an artist at the same time. It gets a little, there's like a duality to it, and you're like, hey, I gotta put on my coach hat. Sure, that's a thing, but also too, like, we're all human here. You know what I mean? And I have like needs to express myself, and my number one thing is making sure to just be myself. You know what I mean? That's a huge one. You know, because the old school way of how we develop in dojos, it's like, yes, sir, yes, sir. You know what I mean? Which is awesome. Yes, learn that, but also learn, hey, you can be yourself, you know, and there's cool ways to be, you know, and doing that, you know. And music has 100% helped me develop as I'm continuing. Like, again, I'm in my 30s, and like as I'm realizing, like, you know, the spookiness about the music industry. They tell you like, oh, you know, you shouldn't be doing music at this age, this and that. But hey, Pharrell Williams,
Yeah,
come on, Virginia, he
that's right.
succeeded at age 32, 30,
Right.
33, you know. So
Yeah.
same thing with Jay-Z, you know, in his 30s. So I'm like, what's going on here? You know, like, this is the real success, you know what I mean? The journey, the understanding, and just ultimately just being able to just say, hey, like, I like doing this, I love doing this, I'm gonna keep doing it, you know. So
Well, what types of new are you coming out with the new sounds, new like types of genres, vibes? When you're
For sure.
creating or you get an idea for a new song, track, or sound, like what is it? What does it sound like?
So there's a spectrum. There's a spectrum of it, you know.
Yeah.
You got the smooth sounding, music, you know, very sultry, very D'Angelo, very like Erykah Badu, kind of like sultry R&B alternative vibes. Then you got the ones that's like, hey, this could be used for a form, you know.
Yeah.
And so as I'm like, you know, developing my artistry as a coach in our world, I'm like, you know, some of these students are like, hey, could I use that song for a form? I'm like, yeah, like that's actually a dream of mine, you know.
Yeah,
And you know, so like I've been, you know, creating music, and I have this one song. I don't want to like talk too much about it, but the energy behind the song gives me that. And I'm just like, I think I'm on something new here, you know? And I'm just like a mad scientist in the laboratory all the time, you know, and in all types of ways, you know, even with martial arts, I'm still working on, you know, new ways of developing how to move the comma, you know, things like that. And it just goes full circle with all the things that I've done and I'm doing now. It's a crazy ecosystem to see it actually run. You know, I'm just like, oh shoot, okay, I didn't waste my time after all.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I know that after we had you on the first time, I know you I think I went ahead and choreographed a form like and did like a TikTok or something to your song. And
yeah,
it was fun, man.
Dude.
Like there's so much like just energy in that, you know what I mean, and what you got. So keep it up, man. Keep it up. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. Well, guys, man, I'm excited for this event. Excited for you guys to do what you do. Make sure you guys check it out. If you have not yet, go register. Champions SMA Workshop, May 31st. Man, I mean, you know, again, Mackensi, Rudy, Steve Terada, Jack Felton, Shaheen, all of these guys. It's going to be great. So,
and have like a level of cool.
Well,
like
yeah.
there's like a baseline level of cool that's like levitates above the rest of us.
Because it's Cali. It's Cali, man. You know?
Yeah.
You know? I love it. I love it. Well, thank you guys. Great talking to you guys. And we will have you on again sometime. All right.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Send me a link where I can check out some gear.
Yes, sir. To realize you was your luxury.
Yes, sir. Alex.
Yes, sir.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week. Thank you, guys.